Another live look here on Capitol Hill. Again, a back and forth by members of the House Judiciary Committee. They're taking their 5 minutes of questioning there for Special Counsel John Durham in the release of that 300-page Durham report. And the findings on that, though, if you've been listening into this, hasn't been too much about the Durham report. But last month, it examined the origins and justifications of the FBI's Russia probe investigation into then presidential candidate and the campaign of Donald Trump in the 2016 election.
Ultimately, the report found the FBI had no basis to actually launch Crossfire Hurricane, that investigation into, again, alleged collusion between the 2016 Trump campaign and the Russian government.
We are watching this. As we do, we'll bring in Jesse Binnall. He is a constitutional law attorney, a former attorney for former President Donald Trump. Also, Robin Nunn is a national trial attorney and federal litigator. We appreciate both of you joining us today. Robin, I'll start with you. I asked you during the break, just lost my pen. I asked you during the break if you were listening a little bit to this hearing, and we were talking about the line of questioning that we're hearing back and forth from these congressional leaders on the committee to Special Counsel Durham. What are your overall thoughts of perhaps what you've heard? Did you gain any knowledge or information from the answers given from the special counsel, or did most of it come from the committee members?
Yeah, I think that it's been an interesting hearing so far. It's definitely breaking news. I'm not sure that I yet have gained, much perspective. There's been a lot of discussion and talk and people providing their own perspective, especially the committee members, but I'm not yet sure that we can draw any conclusions yet. It's going to be an interesting conversation today.
Yeah, and again, we're going back in time with this hearing. We're sort of reliving the past, ultimately what happened after Donald Trump had won the 2016 election, and then the following investigation with the Mueller report, with Crossfire Hurricane, and now we're kind of digging into the details as to what ultimately led up to the decision to look into this alleged collusion. But Jesse, when you read the Durham report, the findings overall is that there was bias, and that there was a failure to take those logical steps. That was a standout to me initially, that there was no actual evidence to launch this investigation. What stood out to you?
No, that's right. And we've known that. Not only have we known that from Durham's report, but we've also known that for 6 years from the report that Devin Nunes did when he was still in Congress and his team. And the one thing that is very clear is that the FBI was weaponized against Donald Trump as a candidate, and then they tried to undermine his administration as president. And when you have people like Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and Andy McCabe and others who were overtly communicating with each other in such ways trying to undermine Donald Trump and specifically go after him, we've known for a long time that that's what was going on. And so watching the Democrats on this committee attack John Durham the way that they did, a lot of times with mischaracterizations, at best, to be charitable, mischaracterizations, we see how desperate they are for our country to keep the weaponized FBI and weaponized Department of Justice that we have right now, because they need that in order to win. They really have become reliant on having the FBI in their corner. And that's a very, very dangerous thing in our country right now. It's, I think, quite frankly, the most important fight in America. And if we do not have a Congress that will truly stick up against this weaponized DOJ, and I'm not talking about chiseling away at the sides through the FISA Act or something, but really taking a sledgehammer to it. We really aren't going to have a system of justice at all anymore. We're not going to have a country.
Robin Nunn, your thoughts on this too, as we again talking about the Durham report and really some of the members there trying to essentially what appeared to be debunking some of the claims that were inside this report. One case made by Congressman Jerry Nadler, the ranking member, he was pointing out that Durham brought a couple of cases to trial and lost them. Was not able to, even after this report found that there's many falsehoods in terms of the investigation into the Trump campaign or tying it to the Clinton campaign, the Steele dossier, et cetera, that there were not many cases, and if there were cases brought, that he lost them. Does that help the Democrats' argument here? What does that do to the Durham report itself, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that there's been a lot of prophesizing going on. I think that a number of members of the House have come forward with their own versions and own statements. You know, I'm not sure that they're all entirely factually accurate. I think we're going to have to listen to all perspectives and see what people have to say, and definitely fact check, you know, some of the statements that are being made.
Yeah, again, everything's under oath, so you would hope that people are telling the truth. But again, there's clearly a political lens to viewing this entire hearing take place. Jesse, I know you just want to say something about 15 seconds.
Members of Congress are not under oath when they're so, and Adam Schiff very clearly is not under oath, and I don't know if he's ever told the truth for a minute when he's been in Congress, for instance. So there's a lot of mischaracterizations from the committee members right now, and we need to hold our members of Congress to account to make sure they do the right thing.
All right. Well,
I was going to say, well, we've got more guests. Are we